Hi guys, welcome to Virtual Camp. My name's Molly. I'm from Sunrise Day Camp, Long Island, and today we're gonna be baking. So today I'm gonna show you my cool recipe called Funfetti cookies. They're sugar cookies with a bunch of sprinkles. So I'm gonna show you step by step how to bake this recipe. But before we start, make sure to do two things. Wash your hands, remember 15 seconds to 20 seconds, and sing happy birthday 2 times. And also make sure you're baking with an adult. All right, so let's get started. All right, before you guys start baking, make sure you preheat the oven to 350 and make sure you're baking with an adult. We attached the list of all the ingredients at the end of the video. So we're gonna have flour, we have baking powder and baking soda. So we're gonna put that in the bowl first. So grab an empty bowl. I like to use a sifter. So I have a couple tricks that I'm gonna show you, and this is one of them. If you don't have one, you don't need one, but this is what I'm gonna use. So you can place it on top of the bowl, get your flour. So it's 2½ cups. So this is 2 cups. We're gonna sift it through. Okay, put that there. We need another ½ cup. And we'll put that in and sift it through. Then we have a ½ teaspoon of baking powder, a ½ teaspoon of baking soda, and ½ teaspoon of salt. And we'll put that in, and we sift that through. Okay, so we have all the dry ingredients, and we're gonna set that aside. Next, we're gonna move on to the wet ingredients. So if you have a mixer, this is when you're gonna need to use it. We're gonna take 2 sticks of butter. So if you can't eat butter for whatever reason, you can always substitute it with Earth Balance butter, which is like fake butter. It's mostly vegetable oil. So you can use that, and it will be 1 cup of that. So 2 sticks equal to 1 cup if you're using Earth Balance. So I'm gonna put unsalted butter in here, and you can always grab a spoon to help you in. Okay. So we have our butter, and we're gonna mix with our sugar too. So pour all your sugar in there, and that's 1/3 cup of sugar. So if you have a mixer, you can use that, but you also don't need to use one. Just make sure your butter's super soft, and if you don't have anything, you can just melt the butter and use that. Okay. Now that our butter and our sugar is mixed in, you always want to scrape the sides to make sure everything's blended right. After you have that, we're going to take our 1 egg. You only need 1 for this recipe. And we're going to crack it. You like to crack it in a bowl first just to make sure you don't have any shells. Okay, put that aside. And we'll pour 1 egg in. And you mix that. And mix it in slow in this part. Okay. Make sure you keep scraping the sides to make sure everything's mixed. Okay, next we're gonna take our vanilla. And if you're using alternatives, you can also put in, for the flour, if you can't have flour, if you're gluten-free, you can also use coconut flour, almond flour, or soy flour. And you can use a different type of extract. You can use coconut extract or almond extract too, if you want a different flavor for your cookies. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 1 and 2. And mix that in. All right, so now we have everything mixed. We have to combine everything. So we have our dry ingredients and we have our wet ingredients. So again, 2½ cups of flour, whatever kind you're using, a ½ teaspoon of baking soda, a ½ teaspoon of baking powder, ½ teaspoon of salt in the dry. And we have our wet ingredients. It's the 2 sticks of butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and our 1 egg. Okay, So this part you need to be careful because if you pour all of the dry ingredients in at once, then it's gonna poof up like a flour storm and it's not gonna be so good. So you have to be very careful. So just put in a little bit at first and make sure to take whatever spoon you're using and mix it in before you start letting the mixer go if you're using a mixer. Okay. And then you just keep going with this part until you have all of your ingredients in. Okay, and we'll put the last of the flour in. Make sure it's gonna get a little thick, so make sure you use your spoon, mix everything in. And if it doesn't work, you can always stop using the mixer and just mix everything by hand. All right, when you're almost done, you're gonna have all the dough in one bowl. Okay, take off the mixer. You can put this aside with all of your dirty. And you're just gonna finish mixing this in. Okay, so this looks about right. Once you get to this point, then we have to start using our hands, which is a little dirty, but that's why we wash our hands, and we'll wash our hands at the end too. Okay, now we have our sprinkles, the best part. Okay, so we're gonna add as many sprinkles as you want, whatever color that you want, and we pour it right in, and you have to mix with your hands. So be careful, wash your hands, and then always remember, don't eat the dough. I know you want to, I know it's tempting, but you can't eat the dough. Also, if any of you guys have an egg allergy, you can use egg substitute. There's Bob's Mill, and there's also Energy. You can look that up online or look on the store, see if any of the stores have it. So keep mixing the dough until it looks formed well. Once it looks about like this, then you're good to go. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, so make sure you wash your hands after you're done mixing everything, and then we'll get to placing all the cookies on the trays. So get 2 cookie trays. I like to use these sill pads. They're called sill pads. You can get them anywhere if you want to look them up and use these, but you can also, if you don't have them, you can just spray your pans with Pam or something like that. Any kind of spray works. But we're gonna use these sill pads today. Next, when you're making the cookies, it's about 1 inch all the way around. Otherwise, you can use a little cookie scooper. This is what I use. And again, you can also look this up online. You can probably get this too. And we're gonna place each cookie. Have each cookie be about 2 inches apart when you're baking because they do get a little bigger. So I put 3 cookies across and 5 down. And that's about 2 inches apart. Okay, so now we have to put the cookies in the oven. So we bake for 12 minutes, but I like to do this trick where you bake for 6 minutes and then switch the trays so that the cookies bake evenly in the oven. So we're gonna do that. And then in the meantime, you can clean up everything, help whoever you're baking with, make sure you do the dishes in between, and get ready for when your cookies are done so you can enjoy them. All right, so the 12 minutes are up and our cookies are done. So when you're taking them out of the oven, make sure you use oven mitts and you're with an adult, so you be careful taking them out. And also a fun tip, make sure you take them right off of the tray and onto a cooling rack right away to keep the cookies nice and soft for as long as they can be. All right, so you have to make sure you have your cookies taste tested before you eat them. So I have my friend Dan here who's gonna try the cookies for me. He is an official cookie connoisseur. So Dan, please tell me what you think.
I love cookies, and I am excited to continue my long and illustrious career of tasting delicious cookies cooked at Sunrise Day Camp. So here we go. We're gonna take a little nibble, and we'll rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Delicious. It could use a little bit more moisture. But I would give it a solid 8.2 out of 10. And I look forward to seeing what happens with the next batch.
All right, so now that we've heard from Dan, I have my second cookie tester, Deanna. So Deanna, please tell me what you think of these cookies.
Okay, hi Molly, hi Sunrise friends. This is very exciting. As all of you know, one of the best things that we do at camp is bake cookies. Everybody always wants a cookie, and I feel very privileged that I get to taste this first batch. Is it a sugar cookie?
It's a sugar cookie, yes, with sprinkles.
Oh, that's good. It's delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is a 10.
Oh,
This is a 10.
we got a 10.
I love this. Thank you so much, Molly.
You're welcome, Deanna.
Happy cooking, everybody.
All right, so now that we're taste tester approved, we can start enjoying these cookies ourselves. One last tip I have for you is we can add some icing with an extra sugar rush. So if you take any kind of icing, you can put it in a Ziploc bag, any kind that you have, cut a little hole on the bottom so that it's like almost like a pastry bag. So take your icing, we have one cookie, put the icing on the bottom of the cookie, just like a circle. Take a second cookie, place it on top, and you have a cookie sandwich. Oh my goodness, amazing, right? All right, so thank you guys so much for baking with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed these amazing cookies, and I'll see you next time. Make sure to look out for more of my videos and subscribe to our channel. Bye.